I'm Nicole.
And we're those girls. Welcome to episode 35 of our podcast. Today, I think we finally got this whole agenda and schedule down for a podcast.
We did, actually. We have a new segment.
We have a new segment. We have like a planned out.
We have a plan of action.
We're like legit now.
We're on top of it all.
We are. A little bit.
He doesn't believe us.
He doesn't. He doesn't believe us at all.
So, I'll explain the new segment.
Yes.
So, everyone should get a friend like Brittany who, like clockwork, every single morning between 7 and 8, text me, good morning, darling, or good morning, something. And if I don't get that text, I think something's wrong. We're in a fight. Somebody died. Her house burned down. Like, I think something.
If the rats have infested the house,
they don't even know about those yet. But I literally, if I don't get that text, I think something's wrong. And I love it. It starts, even when I'm like not in the mood to start my day, it starts my day, if that makes sense. When I'm like, I don't want to talk to him. So I decided through our conversations.
Everyone should know, though, that our conversations start out very, hey, how are you? You know, what can I do to support you? How's the day going to go? And it automatically snowballs into what we're going to call morning positivity, into us dumping on something, whether it is work
it's not
related.
Positive.
There's no positivity to it whatsoever, but I feel like it helps us kind of get through the mumble grumble, especially just because life is so chaotic. So we thought we would share some of our morning positivity and what that looks like between you and I to start podcast moving forward.
All right, so this one, we'll start it. This is yesterday. Al's going to put it up on the screen for us. Okay, so I'll read it. This is, I sent it to you because it was 8 and I had not heard from you yet. And I was like, okay. And it says, so the night before we were talking about how we were so tired at 5 o'clock and it felt like midnight because we were trying to go to bed because of daylight savings. So I sent her, not to be fanatic, but the sun setting at 5 every day has ruined my life. That's how we started the day.
Can we just sidestep for a second though? Like, I usually thrive during daylight savings times, minus the shitty darkness that comes.
Oh, because you're a morning person.
I'm a morning person.
I'm not.
I feel like having that extra hour in the day, I'm more productive.
Hate it.
None of that has happened this go around.
No,
we're 5 days in. It's miserable. Go.
And so I said, good morning. And she said, good morning, sunshine. I'm working from home today. So you have me all day. So, you know, Brittany wasn't going into the office. She's right down the street. We can hang out. And then I said, I have a doctor's appointment at 8:30 so they can tell me I'm morbidly obese and depressed. And she says, want me to come hold your hand? And then she says there was a bunch of stuff about work in between. And then she says,
neither of us can follow a straight conversation and get to point A to point B.
When I was trying to take these screenshots, I was like, we are fucked. Like, it was so much. It was hard to like make the conversation make sense and take out the middle stuff.
Right.
So we went back to the doctor and she says, they'll take your insurance money and move on. And then I said, referring to COVID, I can report that I don't drink every day. Cause I think that was the last time I went to the doctor was like 21. We're in 23. And then I said, most people that would make them lose weight quitting drinking, but not me. Should I ask them why? Then I said, can they just remove all the trauma? And then later on, I didn't even put this in. You asked, I said, should I tell them all of my real issues or just like keep going? And she said, tell them everything.
Tell them everything. They give you a supply of something.
They didn't. Well, she didn't give me anything.
You need a new PCP.
Well, it was a new PCP.
You know, you need a new one. That like the red flag. Like that's like dating.
So
literally, that's like
she didn't give me drugs.
You went on a first date, and they literally were like, "Red flag. This is not going to work. You need to reset."
And I'll tell you,
over.
I usually am not real at the doctor. I'm just like, yeah, I'm fine. I answered all the questions truthfully the first time, and she did like are you depressed? Scale of 1 to 10.
We're all depressed.
Do you get like seasonal depression? Do you have thoughts of suicide? I go, and I went, no, it's not that bad yet. And she just was like, she goes, have you ever gone to counseling? And I go, yeah, I went last year for a little while, but my counselor like isn't taking patients anymore. She went on to full-time, blah, blah. And she goes, so we can like refer you to some. And didn't offer me any drugs.
Oh no!
Why does everyone else get them?
My PCP last time I went, because literally, like, I do the same thing. You get that list that then it's like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how depressed are you? On a scale of 1 to 10, all these things, and it's 10 on everything except are you suicidal? I've never been suicidal in my life. That's just not me. Like, there's just not. Like, there's nothing in my mind that, you know.
No.
But the last time I went, my doctor was like, well, we should probably just try new meds. No. She lied. We've gone through all the meds we've tried with you. I think now we need to send you to a specialist because it's above my pay grade. You've been a guinea pig for me for the last couple years, and you've done the whole therapy route, and so you know everything. Like, that's the doctor you need.
She also didn't ask me like if I do any drugs. She didn't ask me if I smoke weed or eat weed now. She didn't ask me any of that, which I also thought was weird. And yeah, so she just like looked at me kind of was like, do you want counseling? And I was like, sure. Like, and then she talked to me about my hair for 10 minutes because she liked it.
Well, I had a doctor's appointment this week too.
Oh, is this the surprise?
No.
I don't think you told me about it.
No. I went to the doctor this week, but it was not the PCP. And
yes.
So I went to the gynecologist, whatever. I don't care. And so we're sitting there, we're talking, and my gynecologist 3 years ago, right before COVID, changing stuff out. She was like, you're going to want kids one day. No, lady.
Oh, I've been having this fight with them for years, and I'm almost 40.
I already got those. Like, I don't need any more, whatever. So I go in this time and I'm like, all set. Don't want them. How do we, make this thing happen? And she's like, okay, like, yeah, we can, whatever you want to do next year. You qualify for whatever you want to do. We'll
You're like,
you
will you just cut my lower body off?
Right, exactly. But now that I'm thinking of it, and you're saying all of these things that the doctor didn't ask or should ask, she was the first doctor that hasn't asked me, especially in like a female setting, if I feel safe.
I didn't get asked that.
Which is very odd. But I was asked if I would like a chaperone in the room
to do what?
With a female doctor. I was like, if I'm going to the doctor and like doing anything and I don't feel safe, I shouldn't be going to that doctor. Right?
Yeah.
Like, you need a new PCP. She did not offer you any medication. Red flag number 1.
Why does everyone else get drugs?
You did not answer the questions correctly.
Not dramatically enough.
Obviously.
Interesting.
Did you cry?
No.
Okay, we got to work on that.
I could have cried. It was before 10 a.m. If you catch me before 10 a.m. with like anything, I will cry just because I'm tired and I don't want to be alive or awake.
You want to be alive?
I should have said that to her.
I'm right.
No, but then I'm like walking the line of like, is she gonna like send me to Taunton? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
there's Pembroke. It's close.
Whatever it is. That was the one. Yeah.
Oh no! Half the time when I go in, I'm like, so I'm not quite straight jacket appropriate, but can we find something in between to not make me go that route? We gotta like, you just gotta like, yeah.
I don't even know if I want them, but I just want to be asked. I just want to be offered them. It's not that I even want them, but I just want to be offered the drugs. Like, if anyone knows me, I feel like I'm crazy enough to get offered them. I'm surprised I don't.
I'm surprised you've never been asked.
I don't know if I've been. I mean,
are you the normal one?
I mean, I don't know, man.
Or do you just like?
I think I'm probably good at hiding it.
Okay, so on that note,
it's fine. Everything's fine.
I have a thing for slot machines. I know I'm
okay.
Skipping to this, but it's coming back full circle. So when we went on family vacation, we ended up at like the Ryan's Family Amusement or whatever that is, right? And they had a coin machine. And Mark's sister and I...
Is it the kind where, like, they push him over the edge?
They push him over the edge. Yeah, they push him over the edge. I love
those.
And one of them was, like, another one was you had to get him, like, in the holes. Like, the thing spun around and you had to get him in. So Mark's sister and I spent way too much money on these machines.
Oh, when you start, you cannot stop.
Cannot stop. It's an addiction. Like, going to the casino, it's my thing. So we're now we went on vacation back in, like, July or August. Mm-hmm. We're now finding the little cards that you win around the house.
Oh, we should go back.
Mark and I went this week.
Because they have one in Hanover, right?
They have one in Hanover.
Yep.
And so we had Willy Wonka ones, and they've been on the island or something for a long time. So Scarlett got a hold of them. So we're now watching Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It's one of my all-time favorite movies.
Like the original?
The original.
I like the Johnny Depp one.
I don't like
a lot of people don't. I love it.
I don't. So, but she's never
it's
seen
very
it.
acidy.
So we're in the process of watching it. But what's her name? Veronica or Veruca? Veruca. And how like snippy she can be to her dad. Mark said, he goes, I wish I had a little bit of Veruca in me. And I was like, I do. Like, honest to God. Like, there's so hiding it. I don't hide my face does not hide anything.
I don't think mine does either.
Well, that's why I would go back and I'm like, hey, you can hide it. I don't know. Because like there's people that can hide it really well. And then there's people I feel like that are us that are like, we might not say it, but our face says everything.
I don't think my face is very pokerish.
Oh no, mine's not at all. That's why I don't play poker.
I'm good at poker though.
Oh, then
see, I can hide it.
You can hide it then.
Okay.
We got to crack the shell then for you to go to the doctor.
I mean, I just want to be offered.
Right. You don't have
I
to.
I just want to get to say yes or no. And like maybe I want to say yes and try them.
Yeah, you never know. Although, like, if you try them and like you become super normal, that would fuck everything up.
I just stopped taking them.
Well, the interesting part is, so meds don't last in my system very long.
Oh yeah, you told me that.
So like I have like a weird thing where like they'll last for like a month or 2 months. I think the longest anything's worked for me is like 6 months. So that's why I've like graduated everything. And my doctor's finally like, yeah, no. So
interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
so
that was a nice
we'll find
rabbit
you a
hole.
new PCB.
I guess so. I only went once.
Right. No, red flag. You gotta try again. This is like trying therapy.
Well, this is because mine closed and didn't tell anyone. So then they're like, where are your medical records? I'm like, I don't know. They're like just gone. Like there's no way to get them.
There's gotta be a way to get them. I'm pretty sure like
so the doctor that closed, they're getting a lot of people because they're all on the same street.
Yeah.
So
they should know how to get them.
They haven't figured it out yet. They had me sign like a consent form. So when they do figure it out, I'll be on the list to get my records.
But like
they've called. There's like no.
These people just vanished.
Mm-hmm. It was a big thing too.
Can you vanish like that? I don't.
It was like no. It wasn't like a mom and pop doctor either. It was like a corporate, like a big one.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's one thing if like. Yeah, like a small mom and pop doctor from, the 1940s decides that they're going to retire.
I'm just gone. All my records are gone.
Fresh start then. We need the drugs and you got to find a new PCB that'll give them to me.
I mean, I don't know, man. All right. So I'm excited for this transition to when an architect and a real estate agent buy a house because it ties into my life as well right now. This all happened on the same day. So you tell your side of the story first, and then I'll tell what happened to me later in the day.
Okay. So finally, my pest guy came out because I finally figured out that talking about being special and being offered things, he only does commercial buildings. So somehow I got...
How did you get in the mix?
Listen, I don't know. So he came out, and he had come out once before and said we didn't have anything. And then when we closed the office, we moved everything and we had construction that happened. So I feel like I might have brought a couple mice home. We've definitely caught some mice. And so I was like, hey, like I still have this horrid smell coming out of my mudroom.
And I'm going to preface this before you tell them what it is. I am so glad that I did not volunteer to crawl under there because I would have lost my shit. Like mice, fine. Dead. Right. If it was a dead animal, fine.
Well, did I tell you we had the dead squirrel in the driveway? But, like, listen, like we're with all the animals are coming to,
But I'm just letting you know that if I had crawled under there and when you tell them what this is, I would have lost my mind.
So it's raining, just like today. It's cold. It's gross out. Whatever. I'm like, you need to come in. You need to like figure out what's going on. So they like steel wooled for the mice, whatever, and then they went to crawl under. Now it's raining. 40 something degrees out, so they can't smell the smell. And he's like, you have rats. Excuse me?
When you texted me and said the word rats, I was like, you mean mice? You were like, nope, I mean rats.
No,
rats are like
the trap
they're
that
too
they
big.
set was like this big.
That's because rats are like this big.
The chomper on it was like this big. Big black thing. Like,
have you seen if it?
No, I haven't. It gets better though. The whole thing gets better because they're like, we're not going to climb under there right now because it's wet, it's gross. So the way that it works is the smell is coming from my mudroom, which is not heated. So it's not heated in the summer. It's not heated in the winter. It's just this room that was an addition at some point. And underneath there is crawl space. And so there's lattice work around it. So anything getting under there, that'll all be fixed next year. Mark doesn't know that yet, but that's all coming out. So the pest guy's like, yeah, they get under there and they burrow and they pee where they sleep, which is like disgusting all in itself. So then we're
wait a minute. They pee where they sleep?
Yeah, like it's part of like their territory thing.
I used to have like a guy that did that. Different story though.
I feel like your story's a lot better.
It's not actually. It's actually super sad. But continue. We're not telling. Anyway, it's not just rats that do that. Just so everybody knows.
So I'm like, okay. He's like, we're gonna have to come back and we're gonna have to set traps because I don't think you have any in your house. Like we think they're all outside. Fantastic. Now we've lived in the house for a little over a year. And so we're setting traps for mice in the basement. Now I live in an 1800s farmhouse. I have a fieldstone basement. We have holes.
It's New England.
We have things. We live in New England.
Mice. Everyone has mice.
I'm not
but
worried
not
about,
rats.
Not rats. So the really cool thing about my pest guy, which I know is weird, is that he's like a scientist by trade. Like before he got into like pest stuff. So like he understands more of than like a normal, orchid guy who's gonna come in and like just like I'm gonna spray. So he's telling me, he's like, rats travel like 15 miles a day for food.
Ew.
Like they could have come from anywhere. 15 miles.
And are they animals that like come back to their burrow?
Their burrow. So like they make a home.
So under your mudroom is their burrow. And what you're smelling is their sleep pee.
Right. Which then, so, Mark's upstairs working through this whole conversation and I'm in the basement. We're having the conversation. And then I look, and we've lived there for a year and it's a fieldstone basement and I have a couple windows and all of a sudden I have a fucking porthole that has just manifested itself between the basement foundation and underneath the mudroom. And there's all this, it's just wire mesh and like this really weird, like cupboard style door that opens.
Like the Indian in the cupboard?
The Indian in the cupboard.
Exactly. That was like my favorite. Those books were like the best.
Loved that book. So now, instead of having to crawl under the mudroom, they can set these traps from the inside of my house. Ew, so now I'm petrified to go into the basement.
No.
So they've been down there for like a week and a half now. And they came back and they didn't have any rats once. So they're going to come back again next week and they're going to see if we've trapped anything. So we don't know yet, but we'll have to keep you updated.
Okay. So my part of the story is the same day you texted me, I have rats. And also, let me preface this day, you were very busy and you didn't give me like a really big explanation. You literally just said like,
we have rats.
I have rats. And I'm like, what? I need more information. It was like a very short conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm doing like, it's 2023 in real estate. I'm going to be super real. I'm doing like 800 different weird side jobs at night to make enough money to continue living. And I've been doing this job for a company. It's weird. It's weird.
But you're a bartender by trade.
Yes. I've always bartended. I've never stopped even. It's just what I do.
Yeah.
Always.
And it's good networking.
It is. It's networking. It's cash money. It's always there and it's whatever. So anyway,
people will always.
I joined this company that they are contracted by like basically rich people. Either you're bartending in their home, you're bartending at a wedding, it's mobile bar. So like you show up with all your tools, they have to provide the liquor and you bartend for them. So I've like just started doing this. It's very eye-opening to how like an entire another side of the world lives.
Society, yeah.
Because like I'm like walking in with $30 in my bank account and they
welcome to mortgages in 2023.
So this house I'm talking about is a 5-story brownstone right next to Newbury Street in Boston. This is where I'm working.
Yeah.
And so I am supposed to drive in, park in this specific parking garage, and then walk to the residence. And I'm not very like, even though I've lived here my whole life, like I don't know, people are gonna know, like South Shore is not that close to Boston. You don't go to Boston.
It is, but it's not.
But
like,
you don't go there all the time.
No.
So I don't know where I am. I know where I am, but like I don't know. And on a map, I'm looking at where this parking garage is and I'm looking at where the house is. And to me, it looks very far. It's next to Boston Common and Boston Gardens. Yep. But I don't know, obviously, that you can the parking garage entrance comes out in the middle of Boston Common. But I don't know that at the time. So I like call my boss. I'm like, dude, this looks like really far. Like, I don't know where I am. Can I park on this side street? There's meter parking. And he's like, yeah, it's not really that far. We do it all the time, but like, you don't know where you are. I'm like super uncomfortable. Can I just like park in this thing that's near? He's like, do whatever you want. So I park at the meter.
Wait, did you have coins?
Yeah. But it's all
it's all digital now.
It's pay by plate on this app. So I walk to the person's house and they have a house manager. This is how rich they are. It's insane. They had a 5-story brownstone. There was a full kitchen on every single floor. 5 stories. So anyway, whatever. House manager says, hey, you better move your car. You're going to get towed. It turns into resident only parking at 6 o'clock. The party starts at 6:30. This is at 5:45. And I'm like, okay, well, am I going to have enough time to get to my car, drive to this parking garage, and then get back here by 6:30? And I'm like starting to get like anxiety. I'm like sweating because I don't know where I am. And she's like, yeah. She's explaining to me, go to this other garage. It's super close. It's like a block away. I go to the other garage and it closes at 7, so I can't park there. So now I'm in gridlock traffic in Newbury Street. Like, I don't know if you're familiar. Like, it's all one-way streets.
All one
so
way,
like, if you miss a street or take a wrong turn,
have like 6 other blocks to go.
You have to go like all the way around. So anyway, long story short, I end up in the garage I'm supposed to be in the first place if I just done what
because that's our life
supposed to do in the first place. None of this would have happened. And now it's the party starting at 6:30, and it's 6:45, and I still have to walk over a mile to the house by the time I actually get my ass in the garage. So then I'm in the pitch black walking through.
You did not tell me all of it.
I texted you I had a rat thing.
Oh yeah, no, but
so
you
then
didn't tell me this.
I'm walking through Boston Common almost in tears, but trying to keep it together because I still have to, even if I quit right then, I still had to go back to the house to get my stuff.
Well, right. Like, and we're not quitters.
No, like I'm not gonna be a baby, but like this is stupid. So, and then to top it off, a rat literally ran across my foot, like over my sneaker, over the other sneaker. And I screamed at the top of my lungs. And this is like commuter time. So there's a ton of people walking through the common. I asked some guys if they could tell me how to get to a certain street. And they literally like, no.
Because they don't know either.
Oh, no, they just didn't care. I was annoying them. And then I finally made it to the house at like almost 7. And I had to go into like a servant's quarters entrance so the homeowners and guests wouldn't see me come in the front door.
What?
I'm telling you, this is the weirdest job I've ever had.
Do they need to sell the house at any point?
No, they ain't selling that house.
Do they need to remortgage?
They probably lived there forever.
Oh, of course.
It was beautiful, but like it was just a very weird experience, but it was on the same day as the rats.
Well, I think my response to you was you should bring it home and they can live with their siblings or their cousins because they're living underneath.
They're so big. They're like,
yeah, no.
It was too big.
I can't.
It made me want to die.
I can't. I think you win though.
But anyway, so that was my story from the same day. All right. So on that note,
I had one other thing I wanted to say, and my brain just, one of those things.
All right. Well, we'll pass it on to the next episode.
We will. So
I think we just went through a whole episode without directly talking about real estate, and I'm like totally fine with it.
Yeah.
Because it sucks right now.
It sucks. It's all going to get better.
All right.
In time.
Episode 35.
We will see you next week.
Over and out. Bye.